3, 2, 1,
Sing.
sing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brainstorm, episode 12. See, I actually thought it was episode 12, but then I second-guessed myself because I think episode 11 had just gone up, so I'm like, wait a minute now. Is it 12 or is it 13?
It's been messing me up, too. I did that for the TTV podcast yesterday where I was like, the episode that just came out, do we have another one that's like in the works, or do we not? I kind of forget.
Especially for TTV, because TTV is definitely like a week late.
Speaking of which, shout out to Brainstorm episode 11 for getting almost 1,000 views in 24 hours and beating out any other TTV podcast episode like in the last 3 months. Go watch the TTV podcast.
Meso.
Anyway, carry on.
Nah, don't watch it. The TV podcast is dead. We're going to cancel it. Just like we're canceling Brainstorm.
Wow.
Because we all know BIONICLE could use another cancellation. Am I right?
That's one thing BIONICLE needs more cancellations.
Yes.
With every reboot, there is another cancellation to follow soon.
The legend of the BIONICLE.
I feel like last week's episode was really fun.
Was it?
Because it was funny or something. I don't know. I remember actually
because you actually talked.
Also the loaf
it's amazing what happens when you actually give any amount of effort at all. It's pretty cool, right?
I try, okay?
It's great.
I don't always have meaningful contributions.
No, you just don't care.
I feel like your biggest contribution so far, Prpl, has been the ongoing discussion about how you don't contribute every week.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, guys, once again, this is Brainstorm episode 12. This is a show where we develop our own hypothetical pitch for BIONICLE and try to see how people feel about it. And instead, we usually just get hate in the mail and a bunch of other stuff.
I wonder how many people are...
People hate female Lewa.
People hate female Lewa. People don't like the Baraki, I guess. Or
no, people like the Baraki.
We don't like the Baraki.
People want the Baraki at any cost.
Do you know what I saw the other day? I went on as soon as we made the episode about the Baraki, it came out. I went on the boards. The first thing I saw was BrickFeed Paraka pitch, and I was like, all right, here we go. All right, it begins. It begins.
Oh boy.
Baraka could be cool, just a gang.
Gang's on the loose.
If you, they are in the story Bible. To be fair, they are in the story Bible.
Pitches are on the loose.
They do actually exist, but they are not going to be major villains. Well,
do they really?
Yeah.
Well, what were they? I don't remember them.
Look at Matara again.
Oh yeah, I hate the Matara section. It's way too long.
I think it's just the right amount of exposition, like Ruby.
Say their names, Var.
You would be wrong in that case. That is definitely not the right expedition. Anyway, so
say our names, Var.
Oh yeah, that's what I was getting.
When no one is
I'm
around.
Prpl.
Yeah, I forgot to do that. Yeah,
I'm John.
I'm Meso. It's out of order.
And I'm Prpl.
Meso, you gotta calm down.
I am calm.
Prpl, you gussed it.
Worth it.
You're the beginning and the end.
Don't tell me to calm down.
It's not worth it, bro. You gotta let go, yo.
All right, come on, Meso. Sun's getting real low.
Oh boy.
Gosh.
Anyway, so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about a variety of topics, all of which are going to be very unique to this episode and we haven't talked about before. All of which we are all very much prepared for. For instance, we have a new script edit that John made that I haven't read. We've got some great pitches on the boards, such as the Paraka pitch and some other pitches that I also haven't read. And then we've got a lot of comments on our last video that I also have not had the chance to read. So it's going to be a great episode, guys. I'm really happy that you could all be here for this. What do we want to talk about first?
Well, here's a question. Can I, post this?
Can we talk about your reading speed and how you should maybe kick that up a notch?
Dude, you posted the script literally 30 minutes before the episode. Are the
scripts good for public consumption in the description of the podcast, or do you want to wait till they're final?
We can. I don't actually see what's wrong with well, possibly.
Because we talk about it, and there's nothing for the audience.
I don't have a problem with it. I just know there's going to be that dummy out there who's going to watch this video and read that script and be like, this script is terrible. There's a spelling mistake here, and the grammar is not right here, not realizing that it's an early draft of a script that hasn't been proofread. So I just know that's gonna happen, but I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
So
I
you can put that.
dude, I can read scripts in like 10 minutes, buddy. So that's what
you're under the assumption
it
that
took me about that 20 minutes to read like maybe 4 pages, honestly.
Prpl.
You're under the assumption that I'm actually sitting at my computer ready to go by the time you posted that script, which was not the case.
Well, I mean, that was the point in time where we were supposed to be at our computers ready to go.
No, it's supposed to be the point in time where we're getting ready to go. Therefore, getting your mic set up, your station ready to go, your audio recordings, which is what I was actually doing.
No,
I read it, and I was like, there's not much different here, and then I stopped reading it.
I barely even read it last time.
I got up to the part where you added
Prpl.
scenes of the Toa, Tahu parading around. Like, hey, we did it, guys! We beat the fire spitters! We won!
It's
a
combination.
In order to, add a distance buffer. And I was like, didn't we already solve that problem? Not that I didn't your change, but... It seemed redundant.
Kind of thought we did, too. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I guess it adds more to it, even though...
More characterization.
Wasn't the thing that we wanted to do was cut?
Well, the thing... Okay, so here was the thing that I was trying to do mostly. I did it a little bit with the... I added 2 more characters to the party of Matoran that went out against the fire spitter. And just essentially the whole thing with, we extended that part not necessarily to pad it, but to add comedy, because we felt that was the best place. And remember last week we were talking about that's the best place to put comedy in this episode, would be kind of this middle thing, and then in the celebration where you're like, oh, you can have some comedy there. Because we're going to take out the comedy if I can.
One thing, and that was sign my tablet. That was the only
I
joke.
don't know the context, but
sign my tablet was the only joke I noticed. If there were more, they went over my head.
Rip, dude. Your comedy sucks.
No, it's like it's the kind of comedy where it's like, it's entertaining to watch these guys banter and be friendly and stuff. And it did put a smile on my face, but there weren't any jokes that made me laugh. Now delivery,
a very jaded.
Let me ask you this, Meso. Do a lot of the jokes in Nexo nights and Ninjago make you laugh? Just
Nexo nights, no. Ninjago, yes.
Listen,
though.
I understand. If we're writing Rick and Morty, then I should be a bit more in the game here. But I mean, fair enough. I guess I was going for the kind of just this that's it's a little more lighthearted. I wasn't going for actual laughter.
I'm under the
laugh out loud.
the opinion that we don't even really need jokes for the first episode, but that's my opinion. So I think as long as it's got a bit more of a lighthearted tone and it's not just dark and dreary the entire episode,
right?
You're good.
It's to be fair, it was not meant to be my best written gut busting comedy of the century. This was just to lighten the mood a bit because I feel like the Lego shows do that a lot. And I tried to make it not so. I don't know, obvious. There is a thing with the jokes sometimes in the younger kid shows, right? I feel like it's a little too. I'm not sure whether they're going if it's a little too easy or a little too hard hitting. So I don't know. That was the thing I was going with at. But fair enough.
I respect your logic.
Do you really?
Mostly.
Okay, well.
Yeah. I don't really think it needs to be incredibly hysterical or anything, especially since it's the first few episodes.
Well, I don't think. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a hysterical show. I don't.
Yeah.
Even when we're watching The Last Airbender, there weren't a lot of moments where I was laughing out loud. So.
I do think. So what else did we add to the script other than just adding some comedy bits and increasing the time it takes? Or actually, okay, we didn't really address the time it takes from Tahu to get back. So what's going on in that scene? He's partying it up with the other his band of Matoran or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah. If you remember, Yeah. So the idea is that the entire day is just for them to get the news that the Ice King has died. Remember the whole assassination plot, and then the thing of the fire spitters and all that stuff. So we give the extra days for the fire spitters. As soon as they're driven from the mountain, they go and they attack the Ice King, and so, it's going to take about a day for both the attack to happen and for them to send the message. And once they don't show up for the treaty, they're like, "Oh, what happened?" And they're like, "Oh, the Ice King died." And then the next day, they send someone out to get Tahu. That's my timeline here.
Okay. Sounds good. Are we trying to keep this as a two-parter then?
Oh, it was always going to be a two-parter. Remember that?
Well, we had the conversation. Okay, sure.
The conversation was, let's move the Toa's interaction up, and so we can make that
right. Okay.
It's been extended to 32 pages. Is that long enough?
That it might be too long.
It's 30. Well, okay. So what I'm thinking is, we're going to go. It's a 21 minute episode, around a 21 minute episode. So that's 42 minutes. Around 42 pages. I'm aiming for 37 because the rest will be drawn out with fights and animations. And they're very short to read on the page, but they'll be a little longer. Right now it's 32 pages. I think I can the Toa interaction. The Toa interaction has not been written yet. That's going to be another 3 to 4 pages. And once you go over everything, we'll do the revise, do all the edits and everything. It'll be around 37, which is my goal. So the extra like 4 pages basically are going to be reserved for like 4 minutes of animation where there's more like fighting and everything instead of like actual written dialogue going down. So
okay,
there you go.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. In that case, what else do we have to talk about? Because that sounds okay. I don't really have any complaints there.
Same.
So, to quickly address the post from Krazix, he said that John, you had said at one point that people sometimes feel like they don't have to put effort into something because it's a kids show. I don't think there was ever a point where you said that you weren't putting any effort.
No. I wasn't making it. I wasn't making it super comedic. I guess that was the point I was trying to get to. Meso, where I was like, I'm not. This isn't gonna. You're not gonna watch this.
Supposed
and,
to be
laugh
a comedy.
Loud. Yeah, it's it's
That's
it's
the point he was
just
making.
a little lighthearted moment to kind of get there. That's what I meant.
All right.
Which I totally respect, by the way. I don't want Bionicle to be a comedy. I just don't think it's realistic to not have those elements.
Yeah, no, I get you. That's why, like...
If I had it my way, it'd be an edgy Toonami show. It can't be that way.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I actually think the same thing. That's probably,
Alas.
Would it really fly? I don't think so, but I do think it would be...
If we were just making a TV show, then yeah, but it's for me, it's like the concept of having a show that's meant to sell toys is like, okay, well, you have to lower the bar a little bit for that.
Right, exactly. We're not pitching a TV show as much as we wish we were. We're pitching a toy line that happens to have a TV show to tell its story.
Exactly.
So, got to make those compromises. Got to do some stuff that's not exactly our target audience, but we're above that age. And people our age, let's be real, they don't really buy toys anymore as much, unless you're AFOLs,
Yeah,
general audiences.
Yeah, unless you're an AFOL, you're not really buying many toys.
Yeah.
So.
Pila Cars, just make the theme like the One Piece pirate rap. If only.
Yo, we got Luffy!
Oh, gosh.
Dude, I love this song, man. This is my favorite intro.
I would love to make a Bionicle parody of
that. Didn't AT do a cover of this? We should just write a Bionicle parody and have him it was actually really good too. Like really, really good.
Of the pirate rap?
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
It was awesome.
You don't remember this? It was great.
AT has a secret talent for singing that nobody knows because he doesn't put himself in the public eye.
I know.
Well, he has a channel where he does some singing videos. It's just not related to.
Do you guys remember that one Steven Universe song he did?
I do.
Yeah,
it was really good.
That one was crazy.
That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good stuff.
Pretty good stuff.
All right. So do we want to continue on with another episode, or do we want to see if we can find some fan pitches to address, or...
I don't think there are many fan pitches, sadly enough. So,
I think there were a couple of comments in the last video that were like...
comments,
and there's an advertisement. All right, cool. Never mind. Let me just mute that. All right. Yeah, no, there were a couple of comments. It was just... kind of difficult to find them at first, but there's some there.
I see.
But yeah, it's up to you guys. I don't have like a plan.
Let's address the fan stuff, and then we can kind of get back into brainstorming for the last bit of this episode. Like we normally do.
Woo.
All right. So UltimateMustacheX gave us an idea that he pitched as similar to the foaming in the mouth guy from Avatar. It is good guy in G3.
Okay,
Yes.
So beforehand, when I first heard this, I was like, I don't know. After reading this pitch, I was actually like, there's a lot of thought put into this. I actually kind of like it. The good guy's name is Kratu, essentially. It's a name that he picked out with a small rahi. He's got the whole deal. He's got a cool little design. Essentially, he's just going to be like. He wants him to be like a little lava farmer on main guy. He's just thought,
The others look at him as if he was a freak. He's gonna be fun going around the village trying to warn people. He's a good guy. I love it. That would be absolutely fantastic.
I think I forget. I don't think he wears a mask in this pitch.
Nope, he's not.
Yeah, so
Mask.
he's just kind of like he's kind of like a he's like that neighbor, who's a little like kind of a little weird. But he's not like evil or
Your
creepy or
quirky,
anything.
good
He's just
guy
there.
neighbor.
He's just a quirky dude.
off-putting.
Yeah, he's just farming that lava. I don't know how that works. I don't know how lava farming. I don't even know why
Well,
that's
Let's discuss it. Maybe there's like certain minerals in lava that are very useful, and that they can
They did it in G1. I don't know why.
and they can
Yeah.
sell the minerals.
What if they made like obsidian out of it? Like
Yeah, they
Minecraft.
could-
What if there were
Minecraft.
okay? What if there were actually like special plants that grew in lava that are like that
Like fire,
thrived on
yeah.
lava somehow?
I
Like
do see
fire
that in
plants.
other media.
Stupid idea.
And there's tons of that in other media. Lava plants.
What if there are plants that grew in lava and they're harvesting a lava so that they can harvest the plants inside of the lava
That's a
to
very-
What if
create some cool
what if
lava
good
mineral?
guys
Very
turned
valid.
into lava?
Diamonds in the lava.
The lava plants is very valid in Terraria. They have fire
What
blossoms.
if when they harvest the lava, they discover some really cool secret lava fish, and once those fish are removed from the lava, they start to mutate, and boom, the Baraki!
Oh my
No.
god! I hate how that
There
actually
we
sounds
go.
like a legit pitch too.
The Baraki.
The lava is just energized protodermis, but no one knows it.
Oh no, that could be
Dun,
interesting.
dun, dun.
No.
No, we're not gonna do that.
That
I
could
don't.
not be interesting.
I don't know. Well, I guess lava farming would just probably be like just plants that grow in intense heat, and they just affectionately call it lava farming. They don't actually farm lava.
Yeah, like the
Farm
soil is
using
really
the
hot.
lava.
The
Basically.
soil's really hot. It could be. I think what you're saying could have some merit to it. Prpl could be like minerals and stuff, that they have, or like stuff
like
that
soot
comes
and
from the
stuff.
volcano. Right. Exactly.
Are there minerals in lava?
This is bionicle.
No,
We can have
It would
minerals.
be. It would be once it's cooled. What's lava once it's cooled?
Rock.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different rock and stuff, but
Yeah. So like that rock has to have minerals in it. All rocks have minerals in it. They're minerals,
Yeah.
Marie.
I like it. Nice reference that no one's gonna get.
Thank you. I'm sure our core audience is big fans of Breaking Bad. I know they all got that reference, and we're super excited. Post in the comments below if you got that reference.
They
All right.
Thought it was something
Anyway.
completely different. Never mind.
Look at these
So wait,
snazzy
like-
lava rocks, man. Just look at that. I want some.
Oh yeah, that looks really useful for bashing someone's head in.
Minerals.
That's actually
Oh,
really
jeez.
cool looking. Like imagine plants
There's-
growing out of that.
It looks like a meteorite. It's just a rock with holes.
That
Rock.
looks cool.
It's just a rock with holes.
Baraki. The stone golems.
No.
Rocky Obama.
I was gonna say it. We're gonna. Do you know what? We're just gonna combine those two pitches. Why not?
I'm down.
Giant
I
thing of
thought-
sushi that becomes president.
Oh my gosh.
Is the sushi made of rocks?
Maybe maybe they put
Okay,
lava
why are you
in like
posting
rolls
pictures?
and they eat
No,
it.
so we have access to Google, okay? We don't need you to post pictures of rocks.
It's convenience, man, for the fans.
We're good. We're fine. I think everyone here knows what a rock looks
It's
like.
also a reminder to me for what pictures to
I
use.
think we're real clear on the
But it's not just
thing,
rocks,
but-
it's lava rocks. It's specific kinds.
You've already posted 2 other pictures. We got it.
Well, there's
They
a
don't look any
third.
different.
That's actually not too bad. The idea of like the plants growing out of the rock.
Lava.
Oh my. Okay. All right.
Lava Dwayne. Anyway, I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, things growing out of it, I guess, is a little like I can see them like maybe like harvesting the lava, cooling it down, and then like cracking it open for minerals and stuff.
There's one that looks like an egg. A bunch of eggs.
Why are you?
Fire spitter eggs.
Lava eggs, OMG, continuity.
Okay, that.
that's
actually
a good
That's
idea.
That's a good idea. I
That's
do
a
like
good
that.
idea,
Yeah. No.
Teamwork
When's
makes
you
the
did dragon
dream work.
eggs
Woo.
from Game of Thrones? Man, I'm referencing all these shows today. I'm just going down
All
the,
these
down
shows
the
that
line.
no one in our audience watches. It's great.
Listen, you have to have a pretty high IQ to watch.
Anyway, so I think the good guy pitch is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
fine. I have no beef with Kratu. Consider him
goofy.
canon.
All right.
Yay!
He exists.
UltimateMustacheX also left an opinion on the Lewa episode. He said, also I feel like Lewa should only recognize Aruni at the end of episode 4. She will just see him as a Rocky/bad guy in episode 3 at the very least, have her notice something but not say it. Then in episode 4, Aruni sees her lost and thought over it and asks what's wrong. Okay, so immediately I'm
They
thinking,
basically wants it to be a cliffhanger.
well, I want her to recognize Aruni so that we can have episode 4
The cliffhanger,
actually start
yeah.
with, what that cliffhanger was about. And
No, just
go
be a
into
thing
that.
where she's like, I know him, and
Or she could just say Aruni. Like, she can recognize him as Aruni. No one in the audience will know who Aruni is unless you're a G1 fan.
And even then, it won't help you.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, you still don't know who Aruni is. So it doesn't. It's okay for her to recognize it's Aruni because the audience won't recognize it. Like our viewers will because they've been listening to us talk about it.
Pretty true.
But I don't know. He continues to say she starts telling him about her past. During the flashback, Aruni will have some kind of trait or personality quirk that the audience will see. Then as the episode ends, they see Lirak once more, and the audience sees the same quirk. Like the little like who is this character that did this? Like the neck crack. Oh, it's Voldemort. He did like the little neck crack thing.
Oh,
and when he was possessing Harry, he would do the neck crack thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Or also in Harry Potter when what's his face? Mad-Eye Moody, when he was not actually Mad-Eye Moody, but Mad-Eye Moody.
No,
boy.
oh boy.
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. No thanks.
Oh my
No thanks.
Yeah, when he was secretly Barty Crouch, he did the little tongue thing. He would like wave his lick his lips, and that's what gave it away.
Not too
that he
bad. Not
was
too bad.
actually
I like
Barty
it.
Crouch.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. I feel like the episode would be stronger if we just went ahead and started off with the origins and everything.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about the quirk.
Interest
I was
quirk.
talking about the quirk and stuff. Like, I think that should still happen. Like, we should still see that quirk kind of being completed.
What would that quirk be though? Because we can't have him lick his lips.
Maybe.
Well, you see, I guess that
Maybe that's his quirk. He just says "oh" a lot.
he stutters. I mean,
Yeah.
That's all,
Rooney,
folks.
that's awful.
No, the stutter will sound annoying, and I just don't like it when you give someone a verbal tick in a show that is like meant to be annoying, because it makes sure that character itself is annoying. And I mean, to be fair, Rooney could have a bit of a snake kind of thing because he is a snake, but I even don't like that. I didn't like it when they did it in Ninjago.
Oh, what if there was a bitch in Dark Dark Master. I always forget his name because there's so many people with Dark in this.
Dark
story.
There's
Maestro.
Dark Matoro. There's Mark Maestro. There's Dark.
Mark Maestro.
Yeah, I think it was Dark Maestro. No, I think it actually was Dark Maestro that did the pitch. And in his original Lewa,
Dark 709. Oh, sorry.
right, that is another one. In his original Lewa pitch, he wrote out the story. I think Aruni was coughing up, not like blood, but he was spitting out like acid.
Okay.
As he was transforming, like, because his transformation was happening during the flashback, so like you would see like he would slowly start to devolve, and mutate a little bit. But the thing that really like characterized it was that he would spit up like green goo, and it was gross. And Lee was like, ugh. So maybe that could be continued, where he's still spitting up the same, like it's his acid. I mean, that's his power.
Yeah.
So-
Isn't it poison? Isn't he poison?
I believe he
I'd be
was.
lying
Yes.
if I said I knew right off the top of my head, to be honest.
He was.
Okay. So yeah, he was spitting up like some kind of like acid bile or whatever. So
Okay.
Makes sense.
That's good. We can do that.
Acid is different than
You
poison.
guys ever have a friend who would like chew tobacco? And like
Thankfully
just-
not.
Ah, dude, disgusting. One of the worst things.
I didn't grow up in the 80s.
You didn't grow up in the South.
I did, and I never had a friend. So.
I did grow up in the South.
Yeah, you didn't have friends.
Grow up in the South.
I grew up in the north of the South.
Yeah.
Where people really wanted to be the South, and they
North,
really,
South.
really tried.
Southern try.
That's not the north of the. Okay. All right. Fair. Whatever.
Listen,
dude, whatever.
do you
dude.
think? All right,
That's
you guys think? Would you say Kentucky's South?
I'd say it's fried
bordering.
chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the South, right? We're literally we're like 45
I would
minutes
say
from
it's
Kentucky.
bordering it.
It's
Yeah,
We're
I would say
45
bordering
minutes
it.
from Kentucky.
Good for you.
I don't.
So.
I wouldn't consider Kentucky the South though. It's bordering the South.
No, we're bordering Kentucky.
You're bordering the border.
We're bordering.
Border,
So you're not in,
border.
you're not in the South. The point that we're making is that you just made a statement saying the South does this to the two people that actually grew up in the South,
Raffle.
and you didn't.
Maybe it's the North that does that.
Maybe. It might be. It might be.
I think maybe you just had this thing where, there's a gross negative thing that someone does. They must be from the South.
No, I think. I mean, they're like the people that did it were all like the good old boys. They drove their trucks. They had the flannel.
boys.
They spoke in a drawl. They listened to country music. It's all all the country stuff. So that's why.
Sounds like a bunch of wannabes.
I mean, that was very true. They were a lot of wannabes. In fact, the entire southern part of Illinois is just the wannabe South. That's why they call it the North of the South, or maybe the South of the North. We don't know. It can be either.
We should have a region of our taco that's just like southerner.
Oh gosh.
Just like
All the lava farmers.
the lava farmers.
Howdy, y'all.
the,
Been just farming the lava. Giving
The characters in like the Earth region were kind of
all about a Kimu.
southern drawl.
They were.
Before.
Yeah.
I looked at them as intellectuals in our universe, but
Yeah, they're a little different.
You
in ours.
saying Southern people can't be smart?
no, but there is a stereotype
No,
that I
they
wish
can't.
to adhere to.
Wow.
They can't.
Two Southerners, they can't be smart.
Listen, Prpl. There's a reason why your brain's the north.
What?
Because the more north you go, the brain's in the. Okay, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Gonna.
Vessi
Pull it
Mox in the comments posted a Pohatu pitch because he felt like there wasn't enough character for Pohatu.
We haven't gotten there yet.
No, we have gotten there. We have defined Pohatu's character. And then Vessi Mox continues to make a comment about what his character should be, which is literally what his character is. So, he goes into the whole, like, Coley thing and, like, all that stuff. And I'm like, all of that stuff is canon. We talked about that before. So, fair enough. He might have missed that episode.
Define his achievements. Yeah, Toa Pohatu, his achievements aren't his anymore, forcing him to reach new heights and define himself as a Toa Stone.
In fact, it's even vaguer than what we've developed.
No, that's
already.
way vaguer.
Yeah.
He used to be a Matoran. Now he's a Toa. What will he do? Question mark.
I'd watch
He'll
that
reach
show.
new heights.
Brothers.
Two Toa.
Two Toa. One was once a Matoran, looking to achieve some goals. Now he's a Toa, achieving those goals.
Great.
But like in the actual commercial is like when you say the first goals is him scoring into a field, and the other him is the other goals is him like I don't know punching Makuta in the face.
Great.
Both
You want to do
realistic
Captain
life
America
goals.
now?
Nice.
Yeah.
Lord Blood Red Armor says, "Here's a pitch: the Brotherhood of Makuta could be a cult helping supple the Civil War."
Supple. The supple war.
You misspelled civil. They could be a cult helping supple the Civil War.
Post this picture. I'm gonna post a screenshot.
I don't feel like taking a screenshot. I'll just copy paste. Supple the Civil War.
I think
Help supply the Civil War.
Yeah.
Yes.
no, I mean I think that is a function of the Brotherhood of Makuta. They will be like encouraging the Civil War to a great.
I apologize, Red Blood Red Armor. I didn't mean to laugh. That comment made me laugh.
It's all comedy, man. You did good. You got more jokes than John's script. No.
The difference is John was trying and he wasn't.
Yeah. I can include I can misspell a lot of words.
Yeah, exactly.
I can do that this next time.
That'd solve everything.
Just include innuendos every step of the way.
Oh gosh.
Okay, other than that, those are really the only two like comments.
Drats.
So, Civil War.
Anything
the Civil is so amazing that words cannot properly describe. Amazing. It's the best war, the greatest war ever.
All the best wars. I'm looking at.
All right.
Let's see.
Actually, this is something that we should do right now. Actually, so for our patrons, if you have a pitch that you really liked and you want us to talk about it, now's your time.
Oh boy, I like it.
Yeah. Just like no Baraki pictures. Pick one.
Pictures. It's like pictures versus pictures.
Pick pitches. Blech. So what do you guys think Lava should do?
What I think the lava should do?
Yeah, lava farming.
There's the first Toa team world building pitch.
We just talked about the lava.
We can talk about it more.
There is one thing I do like about this pitch, and that is the names of who they chose. However, the thing about this pitch in particular is that I feel like the betrayal storyline adds too much in an already betrayal heavy backstory. Because we already know about the Makuta and Ikimu, and we're going to try to convey that during the story. If we have the thing with the Toa of water kind of turning on someone. And again, Tuyet's the only name I kind of like. I'm not really feeling here as much. I was probably would replace it with like
something else, right?
Nikila.
You want to use it for something that'll never be used.
Listen, I
gotta save the name.
We're writing the show now. We're actually doing it, so I'm just saying. Yeah, we are. Fun fact. I don't know if you guys know this. Who's the Torin of like who's the Toa of Lightning who was like part of the first Toa team? Nikila, right?
Right.
I feel like that's a Urfel name, or I guess we could just rename Variki Nikila. Are we actually sticking with the Variki name?
We are.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, we are.
Committed.
Okay, cool.
I want to use Tuyet for just like a throwaway thing, just because you want her so much. Honestly,
I just think
counter. Like,
well, I got it. Let's name her Takua.
Oh my gosh.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I also like I do have a slight issue with like the character designs too, because they're supposed to be the Toa. Like once they become the Toa, that's supposed to be Tahu and Kopaka, not Lacan and Tuyet. Like Lacan and Tuyet were their Matoran personas, but they become the Toa. Right. So they still need to look like the Toa. They can be different designs, but I don't know. The current
let me ask you this:
too far.
If they have different masks, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
that'd be a big distinction.
I think it would be okay because in the world of Bionicle, masks are their faces essentially. So like they still have the same face, but like more similar to the design.
Yeah, they can have different masks. I just think that they need to still look visually similar to the Toa.
Yeah.
In a way, like
No, I get you.
Just like the white and like pink color scheme, and then the green and like pink color.
Too
scheme.
much.
Right. It's a little
far
too
removed.
different. I don't mind changing the colors up possibly a little bit to make them more distinct as as character designs, but it's too much, way too much. Is every Toa of Earth really big like Onua? Actually, what's our thing behind
No,
it?
yes, really.
Yes. Yeah, because the idea is that they have to have the traits of the Toa.
They have to be
Toa.
strong, right? Because they each choose the trait. You're right. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
The elemental gods, they choose the trait based off.
So
of the
all the Toa from before still share common, quirks.
right?
So
Because that's who the gods choose.
Yeah, that's why they got chosen to begin with. So they're all going to be similar in personality. It was why I was like, we could say that the Toa from G1 did exist in our universe, and that just because the current Lewa is a female doesn't mean that the Lewa that we're all used to didn't exist in our world.
Right.
They did exist. But the current Lewa is not that same Lewa, but they share similar personalities.
Oh, it's also make it clear. Some people are kind of confusing the thing. The first Toa team is a Toa team that seals away Madanui and Ikimu, not Madanui, Ikimu and Makuta.
Yeah.
I meant Makuta and I said Madanui. However, there is another Toa team that we know of, and that is a Toa team that takes the masks away and they seal it, and those are the Toa team right before ours. The last Toa did that, and then they're gone for thousands of years. So just so everyone's clear of that, there are 3 distinct Toa teams that we know of right now.
Here's the thing, though. So we were talking about using names and wanting to reserve those for things like Tuyep.
Right.
But do we really want to use Lacan's Toa team as the very first Toa team?
That's what I'm not feeling that necessarily either.
Because I think they fit the Toa team that comes before our current Toa team more,
right.
To be honest.
Right. I would actually say, well, here's what I
understand why you gave an identity to Tahu in the script. I get the purpose of that.
Right.
With that said, I think personally for me, my preference would be to keep their identities vague.
I would, because this is something possibly.
Because I would not be opposed. For me, I would want the audience to think of the original Toa team as the Toa from G1, even though it's not the case. Like they're not actually the Toa from G1, but I like the kind of, it's almost like a self-insert thing where they can kind of like
G2 except done well.
Listen, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because we're doing a new thing here, we do need to explain to the audience that there have been different people taking on the mantle. We need to have.
I understand.
A name.
That's why I said I understand why you gave the identity. I got it.
So, but we can give it a different name though. If you think of a different Toa that we can substitute it with, I don't mind doing that. That would be a cool. Then it's just a cool little reference. So I don't mind changing the name from Leicon into something else. Let me see.
The original Tahu who then passed down his power to other people.
Nidiki would actually be the Toa before.
What is stopping, him from just saying the original Tahu?
Because it's just. Honestly, it's just kind of the idea is that I got in my head. Tahu is the word for warrior of fire or the stowed thing of fire, and that's why everyone is called Tahu, and everyone kind of gets it when they go forward because it's their name and their title now, kind of like the thing. We could do that. I just think it's very confusing. Basically,
I think it's really confusing to change Tahu into a title.
We're not changing it. That's how it's. Tahu is a name, but it's also
way that Thor
kind of
is a name.
Right.
No. Wait, no, that's not what I meant. So you said Tahu is a title, as in everyone is Tahu, right?
Yeah.
So it means warrior. So it's not a title for Tahu the character. It's a title for a warrior that can be applied to people who aren't Tahu. Correct?
No. Sorry,
okay.
It's not just warrior. It's like the warrior bestowed by the gods. It's like a superhuman warrior. It's like the word for superhuman warrior and everything of fire is Tahu, and it carries all those implications.
Very specific.
Whoa.
Yeah, I feel like that's really. I mean, okay. Like, it's not. I don't necessarily like think it's wrong per se, but I just feel like that's like.
I would much rather simply have the interpretation that Tahu was a powerful deity-esque figure who passed his power down to future generations. There was once a great warrior called Tahu who passed his power onto the next Toa called Likan, who became the new Tahu.
Yeah, but like, I see that the difference with that is that like there is the connotation necessarily is that we would still refer to these people by their original names if that's the case. It's just a passing on of power. They're not the same incarnations of the same thing. As they're almost like reincarnations almost of Tahu over time.
Yeah, but reincarnations are the same thing.
How do they explain Donald
it's the same
Blake
person in a
and
new body.
Thor and all that in the comics?
What?
Thor in the comics and like Donald Blake and all that. He goes by Thor, correct?
Right. Yeah, he does go by Thor.
That's what I'm kind of imagining.
But honestly, it's really inconsistent. Thor's not the best analogy to take from that because the new Thor is very weird. Jane Foster becomes Thor, but the previous people that have wielded Thor's hammer, like Beta Ray Bill, were not referred to as Thor. So people don't know why.
Well, Thor was really the inspiration for this whole idea, so I kind of do draw the.
Well, and then I also think the inconsistency is because the idea came out during Thor's run.
Right.
It's not like a thing that they conceptualized.
They didn't conceptualize at the beginning. The difference is, though, I'm not sure how we are going to, like, I feel like that's too confusing if we just have the first people named Tahu, and then it's like, you are the new Tahu. But Tahu's supposed to be a name of a person beforehand and everything. It would make more, people would wonder why he doesn't just have the same name Narmoto.
I don't think that's any less confusing than the idea of making Tahu the fire region word equivalent of warrior.
That's not the actual. Listen, that's just the thing that I was throwing in my head though. What it was basically coming down to is that the way that we had it set down is that Tahu is inherited. It's a power that's inherited by a ton of people. That's why they adopt that identity of Tahu as it comes on, right? There's no reason for people if it just happened to be the name of the first guy. There's no reason for all the other people to adopt his name.
There is if he's a deity figure.
Yeah, I mean there is if they like. I mean we're under the assumption that everybody, because we already know that the physical appearance of the person is also changing to reflect their new status as Toa. I think it makes a lot of sense for everybody to assume that Tahu has returned from the grave once they see a new Toa of Fire walking around. I actually think it would make less sense for them to be like, oh, it's just a new Toa of Fire, a completely different person.
It's one of those things that I don't actually think anyone will question.
Yeah, especially since this is supposed to be a legendary hero of like magical power that no one else has.
I think either way we go with this discussion, this is one of those understood things the audience will not question in a world with superpowers. And the intro dialogue, like, you will harness the power of the mighty blank, I feel is self-explanatory enough. This is just whether we want to keep that Easter egg for G1 fans, and I don't think
I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, I think it made sense beforehand where it was the thing that was inherited. Like you said, this is this guy, Likan, was the first Tahu, and you Narmoto are now the latest Tahu. And that makes sense as this thing that's kind of like passed on. That's why I said in the original draft that like Likan when he becomes Tahu, you know, that name comes from somewhere. You know, so I guess like I'm not sure why this is a new thing for you guys. The name Tahu did come from somewhere, and if you were okay with the idea of the first Toa having a different name, you had to wonder where did that name come from, and it's because the name Tahu means something in that language. And so I would.
No, I mean like you say, you know, you're not sure where this came from, but like from the very foundations of this idea, I recall it being not even unspoken. We spoke about it numerous times that you were supposed to assume that the characters from before existed in some capacity. That was intrinsic to this whole idea that there were people, you know, called Tahu, called Lewa.
There were people Tahu before.
The G1 characters that we know and love, Tahu, Lewa, Pohatu, Galio, Nuwa Kapaka, etc. Those people existed in the same way that Transformers G1 existed within the realm of Transformers Animated. That was like the core tenet behind this idea.
Well, no, that
So
that
to like
wasn't.
back into that and make like Tahu
No.
a word like Paraka, like it's archived in the podcast. You can go listen. to
No,
it.
I know,
Don't
but
believe
like, no, listen. I'm saying that like when we mentioned that, what we were saying wasn't that whole point was not to actually say these actual characters, everything that happened, they existed. What we were saying is that, you know what, if you yourself were like, I don't like that Lewa is a girl. It's like, well, there was a guy Lewa, and he was basically the Lewa that you remember. Right, but that wasn't to necessarily say
That doesn't work.
the first people that were around.
It's a
were
very
named these characters.
half-hearted way to placate.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, like,
it was a half-hearted way to placate. That's what it was. That's what we were saying. Lewa's a girl now. Deal with it. If you really want the male Lewa, there was one that
John,
existed.
what John is saying is correct. I just don't think that it's a counterpoint to what you were saying, Meso. I mean, you're just adding more details to like why we came up with that decision. Yes, that doesn't take away from what Meso is actually saying.
What I'm saying is that like the initial pitch of the Toa, I guess, was just it was a title that was inherited. It was a thing that was passed down. You know,
Indeed. But that doesn't, once again, just because it's a title that's inherited doesn't mean it didn't originate from a name, or that it has to have been a title from the very beginning.
I don't think it has to be. I just think it's confusing if it's not. I don't know why we're making like this added thing just to, you know, to do it's.
I mean,
I don't think it's confusing to us because we've come up with the idea and we know this entire thing. To us, it makes sense. I don't know if it's easier to explain both in the script and to other people. I mean, already we have to, like, if we're talking about Tahu and how that thing conveys, we already have to go the extra step to people who are already fans because they don't know the new thing that like Tahu is this title that's been passed on. Now it's no longer a title. Now it's just the name of the first guy that people just use whenever they get transformed into Toa.
It was a deity figure.
It
wield
was
the power
Tahu.
of the Narmoto. You will now wield the power of the mighty Tahu. That is literally the only explanation you ever need to give to someone, and they'll get it. It's pretty easy.
I
mean, I agree, and I also still don't think it being a title takes away from it being a name as well. It's just not a counterpoint. You're not countering that at all. You're not making it seem any more confusing or less confusing. It's just another statement that adds to the element. So yes, it's a title. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to John.
No, I know. I didn't sign up for Tahu to be a word like Paraka. You mean thief and murder?
What do you mean?
That's
What do
not
you
what
mean
I
didn't
agreed
sign
on.
up? What do you mean not even agreed on? That's not like that. I don't know. All right, sure. Listen, I don't care enough about this necessarily to fight for it. I do think it's dumb and kind of. I think you're kind of. It's confusing to. It's too confusing, I guess, because initially, when we're talking about, we're reinterpreting what Tahu means. Beforehand, Tahu is just a guy. Right now we're like, all right, Tahu is not a guy. He's a series of
in
people.
terms of G1 or
Like, before
G3. Okay.
and G1 beforehand, like, you know, as far as everyone, even people that know the line, people that are fans, regardless of people who don't know, they know that Tahu is just a character, a person. Okay. Now we're saying, okay, Tahu's not just a person. There have been multiple Tahus over time, and these people, they have different names, but they assume the mantle of Tahu. The same way that, we like you mentioned before, how like, you know, you say, well, I don't think there should be any confusion between Narmoto and Tahu, the same way that people don't confuse Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's like a secret identity. All right, but the difference is, there wasn't the, like, you know, Batman was an identity that was created and then handed down to Dick Grayson and to, like, Damian Wayne and all these other people as it went down the line. Now it's a thing where it's like, is Tahu the name? Is Tahu the character? Or is Tahu like a series of characters that go on? And there's no real way to distinguish that if the first person that we, especially in our exposition, if the first character is also named Tahu.
I'm not sure why you need to distinguish that.
It's very non-essential.
Yeah, I don't really think it's a problem. Yeah, I mean, you said that Batman was an identity that was created and passed on. Tahu was an identity that was literally created and then passed on.
And you make it a superhero. You make a superhero comparison. But like, by your own admission, there's like multiple versions of the same superhero. Not even just Batman. Spider-Man. There's like 3 Spider-Men. 4 if you count like Spider-Gwen. And it might be confusing for the average person, but like, it's not really something I question.
No, listen, you're right that there's several.
Either, and I also don't think it's going to be a thing that we would really question in the plot either. The only reason we're having this conversation is because you wanted to make a direct line that referenced the name of the original Toa.
I think it's. I just think it's less confusing that way.
I don't think we
point
need
across.
I don't think we need that line. I think I mean, we already offered another way to get that point across.
I mean,
so it's just kind of a non-issue. It's like we're fighting to keep this one line of dialogue here to mention the name of an original character of whom we've already established that we're probably going to change the name of and give it to a different character anyway. So the line's going to change regardless.
I don't care about the line. What I'm saying is that, like, conceptually, how we're going to show this concept to the audience is going to be confusing now if you just want, for whatever reason, the first character to be named Tahu for.
Yeah, I mean, for one, I don't think it'll be confusing. I don't think you've offered any real evidence to make it confusing. But two, the only reason we're having the conversation is, once again, because of...
Well, I've offered evidence. You just said no, it won't. I said
no, it's not evidence.
I said it'll be hard.
I've
said it will be hard for audiences to distinguish between what is a character and what is a title, and it's hard to get that across. And you said no, it isn't. All right, sure, okay. You can't. There's no evidence given one way or the other. You just don't think it is.
I do not see what could be construed as confusing from wieldy power.
Because you're making a statement saying that it's going to be confusing. You haven't actually given us a reason why it is confusing. Because you're the one who needs to prove your point.
I'm proving my point. I've already said what it is. The title and the character are being confused in the same instance because you're not able to tell why this character's name is being used for all these different things and which Tahu you're exactly talking about. And the character, people who are going in expecting Tahu to just be a character, once Narmoto assumed this identity, they're going to be confused.
Those people were already going to be confused. That hypothetical
what
group
is that?
Right.
No.
So, by the very foundation of our team.
What does that mean then? That means something. What do you mean it's not going to be an issue? It's something that we need to explain in our story.
Our challenge is to clarify through dialogue, which we have already done many episodes ago.
Well, I have already done through dialogue. You're wanting to change the dialogue
now. You have not
now.
already done. Your dialogue is not what I'm referencing. Wield the power of the mighty Tahu is what I'm referencing. Foundational, page 1, episode whatever.
Wield the power of the...
That is all we need to say.
That is not all you need if you're going to make it also a character.
Nobody at all will be confused by that.
The original Tahu isn't a character in the story at the moment. He has a passing reference. He did a thing in an event a long time ago, but that's about it.
Yep, there was a Tahu passed down to other people, other Tahus. There was a Thor passed down to other Thors. I don't know.
I think the Thor thing's confusing, to be honest.
I've never read a single Thor comic in my life.
No,
I am
because
not a
you've had me to explain it to you.
I'm not a comics guy, but I get it. It's not rocket science. You're assuming people are dumb when they're not.
The Thor thing is you dodge the point about the actual Tahu character. Like you're making a point as though we need to somehow make a distinguishment between the original Tahu character as a character versus the title, but we don't, because we don't actually have that problem occur unless we make a direct reference to the original character and his name being part of his identity, but we're not going to do that. The only reason we would do that is because of the line that you've inserted in your script that we're changing already. So it's a non-problem that we're talking about here. It's confusing it's confusing if you're trying to actually reference this character and this title in your script in episode 1, but we're not going to do that.
Okay.
Well, I think we're past that. We're just arguing about the conceptual of the concept of Toa.
All right, so we're running in circles then, is what you're saying. Because this actual debate doesn't have any actual relevance in the real story because we've already established that this is a non-issue. So yes, we're past that point. All right, cool.
I don't know what else to say here. You're the guy. You get the ones that brought it up. Sure. All right.
You started it.
We didn't bring it up. We mentioned how we want to use the name Lacan for the Toa team prior to this one. You were the one who brought it up because you wanted to use Lacan for the Toa team originally.
No, I don't care what the name is.
Oh my god!
I'm talking about the actual concept of the Toa. You are talking about this other point that we have already agreed upon. What we were talking about is the actual thing of the Toa now.
Oh my god!
You're talking about a point we've already agreed upon.
All right. You know what? Sure, whatever. Go for it. This show's not getting made. What
To
do we care?
explain, can we sunset John?
It's like, yeah. I mean, this is definitely one of those like non-debates. It's just like it's okay. Whatever.
At least
It's
like
not
it was
a-
like
Listen,
We're at the end of the episode. We waste a lot of time arguing about Tahu being a title or a name.
at least I
It's
could use
both.
Lecon as the thumbnail image.
we weren't arguing.
We were arguing. A debate is an argument, even if it's a civil
You guys
one.
are arguing. I'm just explaining the thing.
Please
My
don't
God,
start
John, you're
arguing
being-
about
you're
whether or not
acting
you're
like a-
arguing.
Yeah, come on,
You
man.
started it.
All right.
What was that a reference to?
No, it's just like,
It's a reference to what he literally said. You're the one who brought it up.
It's fine. It's okay. It's all cool. Icy chill.
I mean, the problem is there's no way to show. There's no way to show. Show I'm right.
Can we please? Okay, guys, we need to make an official shirt that says "We are all Tahu." We gotta do this now. We gotta sell that in the TDB store.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
Oh my gosh, it's great.
Oh boy.
Anyway, all right, guys, thank you for joining this episode of Brainstorm.
No way.
Dude, we're at the end. There's no more time. What? Okay. All right. No, we can.
What
stretch.
were you
Fine.
going to talk about, anyways? What were you going to?
Yeah, exactly.
What were you going to?
Like-
Where were you going to go? Let's have you take
Whoa,
it.
whoa. next episode.
Let's not be so accusatory, dude.
We're taking it all that
I'm taking it all out. This is my time to be contrarian, man. I've had it up to here.
All right.
When you're coming
Let's
in.
chill.
Anyway, all right, man. So let's go. What are you going to do?
Your rage
take a
fuels
chill
me.
pill.
It gives me power.
The sun's getting real low over here. We're gonna sunset this.
We could have talked about some other things, sure, but we didn't have a plan going into it. Yes. What do it like if you want to talk about anything else? Now is the time.
No, I basically only wanted to just work on the next episode, but it's too late for that.
What does it mean by work on the next episode? Like, we already have the outline.
Man.
I mean, don't
We
we
gotta do
already
some
have that?
serious thoughts on like the actual plot, by which I mean mask fragment battles and encounters.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry. Which episode? Or is this after the flashback Lewa episode?
Yeah, after the flashback. I just wanted to start on that.
I
Oh,
mean,
you
we can
mean
talk
okay,
about-
the
talk
one
about it for a few
after?
minutes if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Purple,
Just
you've
a few.
worked on that outline, right?
I have not worked on
I'm
it
fine
since
with
last
going
week.
Oh.
You knew that she didn't work on it. That's why you said that.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
You wanted that, didn't you?
No, actually, I forgot. I hope.
No, I'm talking to John.
XD.
Oh, listen, I'm
You wanted that to happen.
Setup equals payoff.
I'm just following the thing. I didn't say anything about the next episode. I was just asking if she got it done. She's the one in charge of the outline.
Okay.
Purple, why?
I
Are you
forgot.
Purple, I appreciate you, just not right now.
I appreciate you on
We're at the end of the episode anyway, so what does it matter?
Alright, fine, screw it. In this
Well,
one.
no, because it does matter because we would be talking about it and not
all
ending
of
the
it.
episode had you had it done.
I mean,
is
we're
what
like at almost an hour anyway.
Yeah, guys, Purple's the reason we had that argument, not me.
Exactly. It's all her.
Exactly. No,
Made it
let's
so far.
let's take this.
I
I'm shifting
wasn't
this
trying
blame.
to
Here's the
blame anyone.
Well, I'm trying
I
to
was
blame someone
just
right now, and it's
saying.
Purple.
Okay, John.
Let's end this. I'm done with this.
Yeah, I'm done with this too. All right. It wasn't worth it. I hate everything.
What
Brainstorm.
else
I-
is new?
I can't wait to see the dislikes in this one. Wait a minute. Anyway,
Should we address that at all?
I don't think
No.
we've addressed it.
5. Oh, wait, I don't know why I'm counting down. We didn't even do an outro. Guys, go over to our Patreon. Listen, I'm off now because everything's wrong. I want to die.
Whatever.
Brainstorm's canceled.
Just end this.
Such impatience.
And for that comment, we're going to continue talking about something. Let's see.
Let's go.
Let's
Anyway. What?
I was just buying time for you to. I don't know if I was just buying time for this bit, dude. I was just contributing to the bit.
I was
Sorry.
literally about to wrap up until you said that.
I know. I
So
mean, I was just
I'll
like
cover that bit.
kind of helping it along, but it's okay.
Guys, if you want to help steer our conversations better and you hate us arguing, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/TTV channel and join our Discord server, where you can also complain about how we're arguing about nothing in the comments, as you do. But in this instance, it'll be live.
That's some good incentive, man.
Which makes all the difference.
It does. Because then you can suggest pitches. You're like, instead of this, talk about this.
Instead of this, you can do this, which, ironically enough, no one in the audience really ever does.
Matu is suggesting that Matoran have last names. That's interesting.
Tahu Narmoto.
Sounds too awkward, but it's a good idea.
Sounds a little... I mean, it might just be the name that we chose to represent these Toa. Like, Tahu Narmoto doesn't sound great. That's because we chose Narmoto for
Others
this
might
character
sound
name.
better.
But Tahu Nuva.
Woo!
Tahu
I
Nuva
actually
is
did
not
that
bad.
for a project for school. I had to make like passports,
Oh.
so I did like G3 passports, and I did Tahu Narmoto for the name.
Wow.
That's dumb.
You
With that said, that actually that's kind of clever. Tahu Mata, Tahu Nuva, like that's their names. That designates who they are. Like Tahu Mata was the original Toa Tahu, and Tahu Nuva was the second Tahu, and then Tahu I don't know. Nuva, N-E-W.
N-E-W. That's actually not... That's a better way of distinguishing it. Honestly, like, the real big deal is that we have...
But then we wouldn't be able to use Nuva for, their Nuva forms, though.
Part of the thing is really just, we have the two separate names. I was realizing this as I was writing out this script, and I'm, typing out Narmoto, and then, I'm typing out Tahu, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm never going to use Narmoto again. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah. I was always kind of iffy about.
I was always kind of I mean, I think
the names are long, they're intricate, they're complex, and they're just instantly thrown away. But
I mean,
I wanted that to be a part of the story, though. That's part of them having to throw away their lives to become the Toa.
You're right. Like the Rakshi have names too. Iruni gets replaced by Lyra.
That's intrinsic to their character growth. Is that they're not only just abandoning their name, they're abandoning the lives that they once lived.
Yeah, there's
I mean, I get
identity.
that makes that I get that, but it's the thing. I didn't realize that they're abandoning their names to get someone else's name.
What difference does it make if it's a name or a title? What are you talking about? What difference would that mean? If they're abandoning their names for the title of Tahu versus they're abandoning their names for the name of Tahu, what's the difference?
Semantics.
I mean, it's not just semantics. It just feels like
pure semantics.
No,
doesn't matter.
Semantics.
It's literally the same. It's literally the same thing.
One thing's about just you take on the duties and things of a job, and one of these jobs is forgetting who you were. The other thing is now I guess one thing I've always wondered is why don't they go back to their Matoran names?
Because they are now Tahu.
Because they forget them.
Well, I mean, are they? Why? Yeah. Why don't they go back to their old names?
Because they're
Tahu is just the name of a guy.
No,
beforehand.
He's the name of an important.
He's the name of it's the name of the Toa of Fire, Tahu. The Matoran is becoming Tahu.
John, I hate using the Thor example. You've already told me it doesn't work. But I have to ask.
Right.
Thor is different than a guy named Greg.
Okay.
All
right.
Do you get that? It's not if Narmoto said, "My name's Greg now," versus I'm wielding the power of the mighty Thor and becoming Thor. It's that's not the same.
Yeah, it's different because Greg is a normal name in our language.
It's different because Greg is all-powerful and controls the story. He is the canonizer. If anything, he's better than Thor.
Oh no, you're right, huh?
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is that, you're right, Thor's different from Greg, because for us, Greg's a mundane name, and Thor's an exotic name. Marmoto and Tahu are both exotic names, so the culture thing doesn't really match up.
I don't think the exotic soundingness of the name has anything to do with it.
It's not the exotic name, but that. What you're saying? What are you saying when
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has an exotic name to me, but that doesn't mean he's all powerful. He's just a basketball player.
No,
that's the point. That's what I'm getting at.
That's what he's saying, though. He's saying that there's a difference between Greg and Thor. What is the difference, Meso? The difference is
the power, the connotation of the character, not the sounding of the name.
If I get it, others will get it. That's my point. It's not a difficult thing to grasp.
People don't get it, though. People don't get the new Thor.
You don't get it. You're the idiot.
You're still not getting it. You keep using the example that doesn't work. People don't know about the new Thor. People are confused. Why is she the new Thor? Why is Jane Foster Thor? I don't know. You don't know. No one in freaking Marvel knows.
It was Donald Blake.
I'm glad we got
like, that makes sense. You don't get it. If whoever, it's like, it would make sense if Donald Blake and Jane Foster were just inherited the title of Thor. I don't. Thor's the name of the dude. So why is Jane Foster Thor?
Okay, John, please tell me what the difference between a title and a name is. Like, why does that actually matter? Why does that change what this means to you? Because no one knows the character Tahu, the original Tahu. He's not relevant to this plot. He doesn't have a character. If anything, it is just a title. We don't know, because we don't know Tahu as a character. We don't know why that name is important or intrinsic to his personality or his character at all. It's just a word. You trying to differentiate between title and semantics in this argument is, I mean, it is just an argument of semantics. It doesn't actually change anything.
The reason
it's not any more confusing than if it just being a title.
The confusing thing is when you have a character. Because a character and a character's name, especially when you're dealing with a thing where there are a lot of new character names. There are a lot of new character names that don't sound like ours, right? And so what you're doing is that you're introducing all these new characters to people. And then you have an additional thing where this character is also a legacy character that's being, I guess, reincarnated over time, possibly, and then people adopt his name instead of sticking with their own, and the entire concept in that sense doesn't make sense. A title is something that is given to people put into a position. You are this position, therefore you are this. You are no longer you're no longer, whatever your name, you're no longer, you're like Tim, you are a Marine now, right? You know, if you are, you know.
John, what is the name of the Dalai Lama?
Got him!
I don't know.
His name is Dalai Lama. You know what his name was before? The last Dalai Lama? What his name was? It was Dalai Lama.
I always thought that Dalai Lama was a title.
It is.
Wait, okay, so was Dalai Lama an original dude? Was there a guy at the very beginning named Dalai Lama? Because if not, you're proving my point.
I think there was.
Yeah.
Because again, the Dalai Lama is a title that people adopt. All right, sure, that makes sense. But was there an additional dude named Dalai Lama?
Yes, the first Dalai Lama was named Dalai Lama. That's his name. Once he assumed the role of Dalai Lama, he was called Dalai Lama.
But did he have like
the
a
current
normal
Dalai
name
Lama? It doesn't. Why does it matter if he had a name before it? We're assuming that the role of the Dalai Lama was created so that this person could be the Dalai Lama.
Exactly, the role of the Dalai Lama was created.
Just like the role of Toa Tahu was created by the Elemental Lords. And they made a role. They gave the title of Tahu to a guy. He was Tahu.
Dalai Lama is also, obviously has very spiritual, religious connotations, as does Tahu. It's not like, the name of a dude. It's the name of an important figure. A figurehead.
Right. I mean, it's just like the Pope, too, right? There's been a ton of popes, but a pope's a position, and the Dalai Lama is a position.
The Pope is not... The Pope is a position, but the Pope also has a name outside of just the Pope.
Yes.
The Pope does have a clarification beyond just the Pope. You're right. The Dalai Lama...
The Pope is not his name.
Quite.
Right. It's his title.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
The Dalai Lama's name is Dalai Lama.
And it's not confusing at all.
Again, it's still a title, though. He's adopted it as
his name is Dalai Lama. The point I'm making is that
confused.
The point. No. The point I'm making is that you're making an argument off semantics. It doesn't matter. The difference between a title and a name doesn't matter. it's not actually as confusing as you're saying it is, because you're trying to point towards this thing as though the difference between a name and a title completely changes everything, but it doesn't.
It does.
It's still the same thing.
All right, I'll give it to you this. I'll present to you like this. All right, imagine if the Pope was not the Pope. He wasn't Pope John Paul II. He wasn't Pope Francis. He was Jesus Christ.
Called the Pope?
He was Jesus Christ. Doesn't that change something?
I mean, that would definitely change how the religion works, yes.
I mean, it changes the religion works, and it changes the whole concept of everything, right?
If the Bible said that if the Bible said that Jesus Christ was reincarnated every 10 or like every 60 years, then yeah, it would make a lot of sense that there's a Jesus Christ running around right now.
Yeah. I can get the concept.
Well, I know you can get the concept. I'm saying it doesn't. You're trying to get me to explain the difference between the name and the role, the name and the title.
Well, you just said that as though that was going to be really confusing to me, but it wasn't.
No, I didn't say that as being really confusing. You asked me to explain the difference. There's a difference between the Pope being Pope Francis and if he's actually being called Jesus Christ.
There is no difference, though. There is no difference. It's the same thing. If Jesus Christ, in the Bible, it says Jesus Christ is reincarnated every 60 years, I would believe that there would be a Jesus Christ right now. Just like how I believe there's a Dalai Lama right now. The role of Jesus Christ, or, I mean, like, if it says he's being reincarnated, then there is Jesus Christ right now. Regardless of whether he came from the Virgin Mary or from Linda from down the street. He's still Jesus!
But he's not...
This is the closest we'll ever get to a religious discussion.
That was it. We're inching there. We're inching there. We're playing with fire right now. Holy fire.
Linda from down.
I think there actually is a Linda down my street.
Oh boy. Alright.
They are, I guess, you know what? They are reincarnated. Alright, because they don't have the elements.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's pretty true. Go ahead.
If there's no Matoran afterwards, then there's just no Toa fire. If they decide not to be, or if they die, then there's no.
It's over.
Yeah. No. I guess,
guys, this has been Brainstorm.
I think honestly, I was thinking about it like the Avatar and how like that's been passed down. There's the first Avatar 1. There's Avatar Korra and Avatar Aang, and that was like the thing. Tahu's this title is like passed down. And I guess the Avatar is reincarnated every year, or not every year, every time it dies. But
yeah, but the person who gets the title of Avatar is a completely different person each time, though. Despite the Avatar essence being reincarnated, we've established that the current person has to be, personality-wise, very similar to the last
check the boxes.
Yeah.
I'm very tired.
I at least appreciate that this led to some very lolsy quotes.
Same. We got some funny stuff.
Thank you guys for joining this episode of Brainstorm. It was a doozy. We will see you guys next week. I'm Var.
I'm Meso.
I'm John.
And I'm Prpl.
We will see you guys next week. X2.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.